All right, guys, welcome back. It's showtime. Holy cow, we just did this. But we're doing it again, guys. It's Super Bravo Tuesday. As you guys can see, if you just missed our Darcy and Stacy Family Chantel powwow, which I thought was amazing, by the way, especially because Darcy and Stacy's finally over. Now we're into Bravo. My background's a little bit different, guys, because I just moved. The right side is I'm on the 17th floor, so I have a great view this way. I just don't want to necessarily expose where I'm at, but I promise you I'll get the setting done. I'll get the walls painted. It'll be great. Thank you for sticking with me. And also, guys, if you haven't already, please like this video. It helps tremendously. So today we're going to talk all things Bravo because I love Bravo. And this is what we're covering. Tory Spelling reportedly joining the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and how that would work. Bronwyn and Sean, obviously Bronwyn from Real Housewives of Orange County, she announced that her and her husband are no longer living under the same roof and they're redefining their marriage. Kelly Dodd posted an awful, crazy video about her daughter's dad, Michael Dodd. If you guys didn't see it, you should go check it out because it really was intense. And you would think after what just happened with her other video going insane and almost costing her job that she probably wouldn't do that, but we'll jump into that. And then what else was I going to cover? Oh, the Below Deck Med reunion. Can't forget that. So guys, 77 in the room. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. That way, whenever you guys want, you can call in. Here we are. All right. Here we go. I'm going to see. Hi from Dallas, Texas. Hi, Susie. It's fine. Give us the story. Isis. Okay. All right, guys. I'll give you the story then. So Bronwyn and Sean from Real Housewives of Orange County, they have decided that they are redefining what their marriage looks like. So from what she said that they're not following the old antiquated rules anymore, and they're going for what they call a modern marriage. They're going to figure out what that contract means for their marriage. But Bronwyn has reassured all of us that her and her husband plan on raising their kids together. They plan on raising their grandkids together, and they plan on staying married for the rest of their lives. So whatever that means to them, whether that's an open marriage or obviously we see some more dimension coming into this, I'm a little confused, but she says that they're not breaking up. What I'm confused about here, though, is how that would really work, only because, and you guys can call in and chime in on this, but I have a few friends who have been in open relationships, open marriages, and when they are, it always seems like someone gets hurt because you have one twosome, which is the married couple, and then you bring in the third party. Then eventually one person in the twosome gets jealous of this third party person, and then they end up having to split off because this person falls in love with the third party. It happens so often. So what I'm saying here is, their marriage would have to be extremely solid to be able to keep navigating something like this. But in all fairness, they already have. They've done this. They have a private apartment to have couples meet them and kind of mess around. She's open to hooking up with girls, and Sean gets a birthday present every year or an anniversary present or something like that. So the point is, it's working, I guess, but I just don't know how much longer it can continue to work. What I did think was crazy, though, is when you watch Bronwyn, of course, she's super open about everything, and that's going to keep her on the Real Housewives of Orange County. That will maintain her orange because she is so modern and she has this new dynamic that I guess we're not used to. But what I'm confused about is when she's posting photos of her kids and everything. And then if you notice, there was a photo where she's sitting, there's this woman, and she's sitting leaning up against the woman with her arm around her knee. I'm wondering if that might be Bronwyn's girlfriend, like actual girlfriend. And that might be another part of the dynamic to this relationship, because there's obviously third parties wanting to come in and they want to entertain the idea of third parties, but that doesn't mean necessarily the third party is going to be under the scrutiny of the public eye, i.e. us, the Bravo super fans. Okay. Woo, that was a mouthful. 122 in the room, guys. If you haven't already, please hit like. Yeah, I don't know how it would work, but they have had problems in the past. Yes, they have. Tori, please. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, I'll move on to Tori. I just wanted to cover that because I thought that was really insane, the fact that that's what we're dealing with here on the Housewives. And we just saw Leah McSweeney. She came into New York and she offered this kind of younger, more reckless dynamic to the Housewives. And it's interesting to not always see the same thing. That's my stance on this. But let's move on to Tori Spelling. Tori Spelling, for me, she's interesting and an interesting choice to take on for the Beverly Hills Housewives because she is 90210, right? Erica Jane said it best on the Jenny McCarthy podcast. She said, who better than Tory Spelling? And that was, I think, a year ago. So if that was a year ago, and at that time, Tori Spelling addressed the rumors and she said, no, I'm not mean or dramatic enough to be a part of that cast. While I love watching and I'm a big fan, I don't think I could be a part of the cast. It sounds like things might have changed. I don't know if this is confirmed. Actually, I don't think it's confirmed at all. Right now, it's just all insider tell. But what they're trying to say is that Tori would come on as a friend of Kyle's. She would start out in a friend role. And as she moves her way up, she would come in as a friend of Kyle's, and so is Kathy Hilton. Kathy Hilton's coming in as a friend of Kyle's. So Tori has this rift between her and her mom, Candy Spelling, which we all know they've had this rift forever. And apparently Kathy Hilton and Candy Spelling have a rift. So I guess she's going to come in and have, I don't know how this is going to work. So is Tori going to riff with Kathy because Kathy riffs with Candy? Or is Tori going to get on with Kathy because Kathy riffs with Candy? I'm not sure. And then if Tori riffs with Kathy because Kathy gets not along with Candy, does that mean that Kyle has to riff with Tori because Kathy's her sister? This is so many problems. This is literally dealing with another Kim Richards thing, except Kathy doesn't, well, I guess it's not the same kind of problem. Let's see. What's up, Jamal? Welcome back.
What's going on? Hey.
I'm still in the same hollow non-furniture room.
It's going to take you a couple of weeks. You'll be fine.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Jamal. So real quick, did you want to mention or talk about Bronwyn, or do you want to go in about Tory Spelling?
Bronwyn's interesting because I wonder what issue caused this to happen. You know what I mean?
Like, I think it's the fame.
You think so? You think the fame drove Sean away? You think he's just not really into it and he just wants to be away from it?
No, I just think that maybe it could have. I think that she has a lot. There's a lot in both of them where they want to get out and they want to let their freak flag fly, kind of like Michael Darby, except they do it in a more open, honest way. Mm-hmm. And he does it kind of in a creepy way.
Right.
I think that she just is being embraced right now as a housewife for being so open about these things and her open marriage and inviting people in that apartment that they have, that it's almost like fueling her it's almost kind of like a drug for her. And she wants to just keep putting more out there and she wants to keep exposing herself and adding more scandal to this. Like, oh, my husband doesn't live under the same roof, but we're redefining what a modern marriage is. And we're not doing the old antiquated rules. It's like, what do you mean? This is not going to, how does this work?
Well, I just don't, I guess unless you're having serious problems, I don't see why move out.
You live in an 8,000 square foot house with a pirate ship in the backyard.
He can stay in the pirate ship, or you can stay in the pirate ship and do it that way.
Yeah, somebody could stay in the pirate ship. I think the pirate ship, what'd you say? It's like 3,000 square feet or something?
Yeah.
That pirate ship is bigger than probably any house that I've ever lived in.
And then you have 7 kids. So how do you explain it's your kids? I mean, they're going to have questions.
Well, then we found out too that the daughter, I want to say Rowan or Roman? Rowan?
I think it's Rowan.
Rowan. Yeah, Rowan. She ended up, she told her mom to F off, and she's mad about something, and she went to social media about it, but we never found out what it was. And I'm thinking that it's this dynamic. And I just have this feeling that this woman that has been photographed, I want to get her name and figure out who she is, but I have a feeling she's part of the mesh up here.
If she is, do we think maybe Bronwyn put herself in a position to where she's neglecting Sean emotionally, and that's why he moved out? Is that a possibility?
Or, sometimes when you do these open marriages, again, like I just said, you have the 2 and the 1, and the 2 decide to bring in the 1. But then what happens is one of them connects with that 1 sometimes, and then they might have a deeper emotional connection and understanding of each other than the original party did. And then that causes a divide over here, and then these 2 become one twosome.
I wonder, based on that maybe Bronwyn emotionally connected to this chick. If this is a girlfriend, and maybe Sean felt alienated and he got mad. So versus just staying in the house being mad at her, he left. So that would be interesting.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to play out. I don't think it's going to play out on this season. I have a feeling we're going to see a little bit more dynamic to her, but I don't think we're going to see anything about her husband on this season. And I can't even believe that we're using the alcohol as a storyline. But a lot of people are excited because they think that she's being courageous with this. We lost Jamal, but that's okay. Thank you, Dana. I appreciate you. I love you too. A lot of people. Oh, here we go.
Sorry, got kicked out.
No, that's all right. 175 in the room, guys. Everybody hit like. Let's go for 200. But no, I think that the alcohol thing, I think that they're really pushing for the storylines. Again, we had Steve from Faces by Bravo come on, and he said even that, this is a 12-episode season. So we're all hoping they're going to jam pack more into the episodes, right? But all actuality, and honest truth, it's probably 12 episodes because there's no content.
Exactly. I think, it didn't sound like they had too much to work with anyway, so they're going to have to stretch some of these out. And I guess Bronwyn's alcoholism is one of those things. I'm just guessing at this point because you got to feel it somehow. Okay. And then, Hermione, Adam, you are professional no matter where you are, sending you positive vibes. Thank you, Hermione. Back to you. I love Hermione. But no, I wanted to go on real quick because I had DJ Richie Sky on with me on Thursday, and we talked about Orange County. I was really excited too because I was like, man, we'll jump on and talk about OC. And then he just came on and straight up, again, we had that phone call right before, and he's like, I tried, Adam, but I'm not watching Kelly Dodd. And I was like, man, it's like, you really don't like Kelly. And he's like, no, it just goes against, me. I'm not going to, he explained himself on the show. And I was like, okay, you're not a Kelly fan. Do you feel the same way? So am I a fan of hers? No.
But is it enough to make you not watch it?
No, because, she is who she is. She's always been problematic. This is nothing new. So why? I'm not going to turn off my TV just because she's there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
She is entertaining when she's not being stupid. So we can't really bash her too much because on one hand you want great TV, but on the other hand you're mad at her. So it's kind of like one of those things. Like, she is who she is. She's giving us what we asked for. She's being open to being honest. We just don't like her brand of honesty. Right. She gives us the drama and everything, but I was going to compare her to Bethany Frankel because Bethany Frankel gives her the drama, but then she doesn't do stupid stuff like that. But then also Bethany Frankel screams and cries a lot, and that kind of annoys everybody. So I don't know. But it's a different kind of annoyance. Exactly. I'm going to bring on another opinion with us. Oh, yeah. How's it going? Hey, Jay. Hey, Jay.
Hello. Hi.
Wow. You're awake?
Yes. Very alert. I've had my coffee, and I've been listening to the live.
All right. So, go ahead.
I think that Orange County is likely going to be a lot of filler this season. I don't really see them having a lot go on. I know that Elizabeth is apparently very explosive, but I just think in relation to the other ladies, that probably falls flat.
Right.
Because it takes two to fight.
Right. Yeah, and if she's friends with Kelly Dodd is probably, aside from Shannon Bedore is always in conflict with somebody, but Kelly Dodd is usually the one who's fighting with people. Vicky would come in and she would have been jealous of Elizabeth and she would have gave her crap. I think Tamara and Elizabeth would have got along, but I don't really see a person going up against her. So yeah, I think that's where it falls flat. But what I do want to ask you guys too is when I had DJ Richie Sky on here, we were talking about, of course, everyone knows the Drunk Wives Matter hat that she wore, and she got a lot of flack for that, and people thought it was extremely insensitive, right? But then right after getting all this flack, she goes on and posts another video just telling everybody after the photo, she posts a video telling everybody to F off, and then she just posted the video about her daughter's dad. Did we see this video? No, I don't. Me personally, I don't follow anything Kelly Dodd. You should at least go watch it. It's actually really just, it makes her look questionable as a parent, only because the way she literally walks into the room with the camera on and she's like, hey Jolie, I just want to know, where's your dad been? And she's like, I haven't seen him for 5 months. And she's like, yeah, because he's a deadbeat dad. But Rick Leventhal is a great dad. But unlike your dad, Jolie, who is Michael Dodd, who hasn't seen his daughter in 5 months, is a deadbeat. So there you go, Michael. Maybe you should see your kid. And then hangs up. And it's like, that's not the way you do that.
No.
The public embarrassment, I guess it's a call to action for Michael, but it's also like, Kelly is such a good housewife because she's so dramatic and it's just so much to unpack with her. But the issue is that she's got so much going on and her thoughts are very out there.
Well, she doesn't have a filter is what it is.
Yeah.
There's just, like, it's fun when you're opinionated and you have strong opinions and you stand for whatever that is. But then when you just get reckless, like almost like Brandi Glanville in a sense, when you start drinking and you just say whatever you want and you're like, you know what, F this. It's like, that's when you lose the conversation. Conversation's lost, you lose.
I agree with that 100%. Yeah. I think that she just takes it to such a level that it's hard. Robin
said, I figure Kelly will sink her own ship in or off the show. That it'll be imploding. Thank you, Robin, for the super chat. Yeah, no, I think that she's going to sink her own ship too, because I think she's going to take it too far eventually. Like, I feel like even the hat, you were stepping on some territory here where it's like, okay, you're getting iffy. But she just made a comment that said, hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not fired. And I'm curious to see, because I don't technically think Bravo can fire her over the hat, because it wasn't, it's perceived as insensitive. It wasn't just completely right there written in stone, So I don't know how Bravo would handle this, but I think she's right. I don't think Kelly Dodd's going anywhere.
I don't think that Bravo has a way of getting rid of Kelly Dodd right now. Like, I don't think that there's a way for Orange County to exist right now without Kelly being there. And I think that is keeping her around.
Well, and maybe they're hoping if Elizabeth is kind of like this pit bull that everybody's calling her, which I've heard that so many times too. And then I talked to, again, we had Steve from Faces by Bravo on here, and he's like, I've met Elizabeth a couple times and I don't get that vibe from her. She's not, she's rich and she's like motivated and driven, but she's not really aggressive.
Well,
so I'm curious to see.
The reports and rumors I saw is that she wants to be on camera, so she's going to 10.
Oh,
like automatically. And I think that is while it's interesting to watch, it's just like I said, you're going to 10 with Gina and Emily. Like, it's not really.
It's not. Yeah, there's really nobody to go toe to toe. It's not really interesting because there's not someone to go to toe to toe with. Like Atlanta, they always have 2 that go toe to toe. New York always has. I mean, every single one has their drama, but a lot of people are also saying that Orange County is kind of a failing franchise. Like, it's on its way out the door, but I don't know if that could happen. I think
that Bravo loves Orange County to the point where whereas looking at all the other shows, Orange County is the one that if I had to pick at and say this needs to go, it does need to go. I think that Bravo loves it. It's their flagship series. So I do think that they want to keep it alive. So they will continue, at least for another 2 to 3 seasons, of trying to figure out a way to make it work.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, should they? Maybe not, but I do think that they're going to continue to try to figure out how to make it stay.
Okay. Kelly needs psychological help. That's emotional damage to her daughter. You just don't do that. I think they should get her off of Real Housewives of Orange County. Thank you, Nat, for the super sticker. I do agree with Jamal and Hey Jay. At this point in the game, I don't think they just can't afford to lose Kelly Dodd, because nobody's watching Emily, Shannon, and Gina. And sure, you have a little bit of drama with Bronwyn because we have this modern dynamic, and Elizabeth might be interesting, but we're not invested in her yet, so that doesn't count.
I think that Kelly Dodd's daughter is put in a lot of situations that require more maturity than what she should have at 13. I think that video, because I did just get a chance to watch it, it's a bit much for someone that young. But I also think that from the first episode I saw, that was a bit much to hear from someone that young as well.
Right.
That any guy in Newport can do this. It was just in the cursing. It was a bit much for a 13-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah, she goes in. Again, she has no filter. She doesn't hold back. And like Jamal said, unfortunately, it's just like a double-edged sword. It's like that's the reason we love her. And that's also what makes us cringe sometimes when we're dealing with her. So either way, we're still talking about her. So just is what it is. But moving... Yeah, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, she's just... Bravo's in a bad place with her because on one hand, her behavior is erratic and... like deplorable, but she hasn't crossed any lines yet, and that's the biggest issue. And then if you take her away, like you said, no one's going to watch the rest of them by themselves.
Right.
So I really think, for me, I think they brought Elizabeth in hoping that she would take over and be the face of the show, because we know Shannon can't do it because she's going to be crying like every third episode. No one wants to see that.
Well, right. And they want somebody to come in almost kind of like how Leah did on New York, where even though she came in like a hurricane, everybody loved it. It made it interesting. I mean, otherwise there was nothing else interesting going on besides Dorinda's drinking. And that got to the point where it was so belligerent and aggressive that was cringeworthy to watch. So, but since we're going through the franchises really quick, I'm curious, hey Jay, what do you think about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and the Tory Spelling rumor? Would you be interested in seeing her join?
I've always been I have two thoughts on that, and they both go together. Tori is notoriously hard pressed for money.
Yeah.
And I think that because of that, it would serve her almost better to be in an ensemble cast than to her to continue to push her family and a solo series. I think that she'd last longer on seasons as a housewife than she would Tori and family.
Right.
So I think that she's a great, there's no one that I can think of that's more
Beverly
90210 than Tory Spellings.
Well, I thought it was interesting too, because what the reports are saying is that she would be joining as a friend role along with Kathy Hilton. I just feel like though Tori Spelling as a name wouldn't have to join as a friend role, but they're saying an insider saying that would be joining as a friend role and trying to work her way up to a full-time housewife. But I feel like with her name, she could just go in there and be like, look guys, did you watch her last season? Throw me in there. Let's see what happens.
But I think that's why they just did that. They had Denise, their big name, and I think that now they're trying to play more of we need to figure out how this person is going to flow.
Yeah.
Before we're like, oh, big name, here's a big check.
For nothing.
Yep.
Exactly. No, I agree with you. Guys, 265 in the room, hit like. Let's see if we can hit 300. But no, I agree with you. Go ahead, Jamal.
I was gonna say the word is that Tori's in need of money because she's blown through her inheritance and her mother's not going to give her any more money from the estate. So they know they can get Tori at a much cheaper rate. That's why they don't have to pay Tori Spelling $4
million
money. Right. They know they can get her for cheap because she kind of needs the money.
Right.
So, and Tori will work for $400K. She gives me that's more than I'm sure she was making on her other reality shows that many people weren't watching. So I think Tori would work for a low enough number where it would make sense to bring her as a friend. Right.
And even if, like you just said, I don't even think they would have to make it a friend. I think she would work for a low enough number to just join the cast. And then, but I do understand where we have to see where she fits in or whatever. But I mean, we've done it so many times where we just throw in a new face like Elizabeth Lynn Vargas as a housewife and we don't even know her. And obviously Tori knows Kyle Richards. She knows Kathy Hilton. I'm sure she knows Lisa Rinna and all of the other women. She probably even knows Erica. And I just think that it would be easy for her to walk in and be like, hey guys. And it wouldn't be an awkward transition.
I agree, and I also think that she has the name that the ladies would be like, oh my gosh, Tory Spelling is here. Like, it would be more of a thing. So I do I think that she should just be full-time. I don't see why the need to have her as a friend. And Kathy, I think that those are two heavy hitters.
Right.
That you have, and you're not using them to the ability that you should use them.
Right. And the other thing too is that Tory Spelling has scandal in her family and her I mean, even in her immediate family, her marriage. Didn't he cheat on her a couple times, Dean?
Yeah.
Yep, yes. He cheated on her a couple times. And I mean, it's already all been out there and addressed and everything, but it doesn't mean if you throw her right at the table with the women, like Lisa Rinna wouldn't be like, at least my husband doesn't cheat on me, you know, and stuff like that. Like they'll still get nasty. And there's a lot of content for us to deal with because her mom's mega rich and has control over this estate. You know, Tori's kind of bobbing her head up and down above water, trying to survive through Los Angeles and the whole famous lifestyle.
The marriage drama. We want the family drama. We want to know how you're surviving with the kids. We want to know about the lack of finances and your mother is rich.
Exactly.
You go film from your house to your mother's house and how different it is.
And it would actually be the only house on there that would be actually in 90210, the Spelling Mansion. So, I mean, I know Tori would not be on. I mean, Tori's not going to be at the Spelling Mansion, but I'm saying if you throw Candy in there, she definitely would be. I just think that it makes sense. Either HJ said this or Jamal said it, but one of you guys said that it makes more sense to throw her in an ensemble cast because I think she has enough dynamic and dimension there with all the drama that she has in her life to really secure her one role segment as a part of the whole like Beverly Hills franchise. You know what I mean? I think she can secure that spot.
Hey Adam, can you drop me? I have a call in about 5 minutes.
Yeah. All right. But no, I think that, you know, she has enough content to secure the spot. But hey Jay, a question for you. Did you watch Below Deck Med or no?
So I'm in pharmacy school and Below Deck Med is a show that I want to be into so bad. I haven't started yet.
Okay.
But today is my day. I literally am getting into it.
Yes, you have to, because we just had the Below Deck Med reunion. I don't know if you know who Captain Sandy is and Anna Ferrier. Yeah, we have. Oh, Hermione said, I want Jada Pinkett Smith for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. That could be a good one.
So I will say, I actually wanted one of Garcelle's friends.
Who?
To join. It could have been any of the ladies that were in that scene with her to come and be in a larger capacity this season. I think that with Denise not being there anymore, Garcelle is almost very much not connected to the cast.
Right.
So I wanted, obviously she has to repair things with Rinna. They have to have some type of meeting of the minds. She needs to do something with Kyle, but I also wanted them to bring someone that she's friendly with.
Right. And I think it would make more sense if they're going to keep Garcelle to let her recommend somebody. I know that they take recommendations from all the housewives every year. Like Andy said, they get a list. We addressed this at the New York reunion, but they get a list of people. And
Bethany sends a list every year, apparently.
Yeah. Bethany offers a list every year, but I would be surprised if they didn't bring somebody from Garcelle's own personal corner, somebody that she just jibes with really well to integrate into the group.
So that is like what I was looking for, because like I saw Crystal Mikonoff's name being tossed around. I was doing research on her and I couldn't figure out.
Married to the Disney exec, but who does she know?
Yeah, I couldn't figure out who she knew. I just felt like it was just like, oh, here.
Right. No, I agree with you. Hey, Jay, I'm going to go ahead and drop you down real quick and take other callers, and then just stay on if you like, and I'll bring you up at the end.
Thank you.
All right. That's awesome. Hey, Jay was a new caller, so I appreciate that. And then thank you, Hermione, for the super sticker. You're awesome. I really appreciate you. And then, did I miss? Oh, thank you, Nat, for the super sticker. Guys, I want to move on to Below Deck Med, only because we just watched the reunion and I thought it was a little intense. And when I say intense, what I'm talking about is the fact that I love Hannah Ferrier so much. She did a personal FaceTime for Pops because he's such a big fan of her. She's pregnant with the baby right now. I mean, had the baby. Shan, hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? How's the move? How's settling in?
I'm all over the place and it's just a lot. It's a lot of transition, but it's okay.
You look good.
Huh?
You look good.
I'll keep you around, Shan. You look great. Wow. Did you watch Below Deck Med?
Of course I did. I saved my call-in for Below Deck.
Okay. So I love that you called in for this, because what I wanted to get to, since I was doing the Hannah buildup, was the moment that they talk about at the end where they showed the select pen and reveal that it's not in fact CBD. Okay. Now that's messy. But go ahead.
So I have a question. I don't use those pens, but aren't cartridges interchangeable? Can't you buy one pen and then buy different refill cartridges?
Yes. But what they're saying is that was a disposable cart, not one that came with the battery. So there's two different kinds. There's the batteries with the cartridges that you can just interchange them. And then there's the disposables where you could just buy them. And then once the cartridge is out, you just throw the whole thing away. So that's what that was. But I don't think that she thought she was going to get called out like that. And her face, and I love Hannah, but her face was like, yeah, it was CBD. And they're already coming at her, and Captain Sandy's going at her. Malia's being a little annoying. And Hannah sat there and said it with such conviction, only to be blasted. That I would be mortified.
Have you ever seen that kind of digging after the fact on Bravo? I can't think of a moment that I've seen that kind of digging after the fact.
No, and I want to say Pops has this conspiracy theory. He thinks that they let Kate Chastain go on there on the chat room and blast out the Bravo chat room and just blast out Hannah all the time. And he thinks that she's not treated fairly. And I'm sure when I talk with Pops on Friday, he's going to be like, did you see how they did that? Man, they just want to ruin her reputation. I know he's going to say that.
Yeah, well, Hannah and Kate have never gotten along. If you look back on their Twitters and things like that, they make no qualms of not getting along. I just don't really remember. I was literally racking my brain trying to think of another time I've seen after the fact digging. Like, okay, you've let her go. She's gone. Why do you need to cover her with an extra 6 feet of dirt?
Right. And you showed the photos of the Valium, exactly what was in the bag. I mean, really, they didn't even rag on Pete that much. And Pete had, what was that?
Right. Okay, we got to talk about Hannah's cup, though. Girl, I love that. I love that she did that. She doesn't care anymore.
No, she's seasoned. She's good. I need a Valium. She should just, after being on the reunion with that, she should probably just start selling those mugs. But yeah, she's sarcastic and witty and funny. I really like Hannah. I'm going to miss her. And that scene with Lara, I completely forgot about her. And I completely forgot that Hannah was like, lady, don't touch me. And I was like, oh God, Hannah's going to slap the crap out of you. So I'm going to really miss Hannah. But when I did my interview with her, I said, could we ever see you back in any capacity with Bravo? And she said, not on Below Deck, only unless I was a guest, right? But if they're putting Kat Chastain on this Bravo chat room or whatever, I don't see why they wouldn't use. I can't believe they used her. I would have used Hannah before Kate Chastain.
No, okay. I love Kate because if we're going to talk about sarcastic, dry, witty, that is Kate. But I don't think she's working well in a group panel.
Okay, so let's
one-on-one or something.
Yeah, let's shift this for a second really quick, because I agree with you, and I'm curious, how would you change up the dynamic of that chat room if you could make your dream Bravo?
Oh, my dream Bravo. Oh God, I'm not Jamal. I can't think that fast.
No, but
okay. Well, I want Kate to have something because I do miss Kate and I do want Kate, but I don't think she fits on a panel very well.
Right.
I think Portia's great because she really seems to wrangle everyone.
Okay.
The girl from what's that show, Summer House? I don't get it. I don't get why she's there.
She has to go.
Okay, so we're on that.
Yeah, we're on the same page with that. I would say I wish we could do like Nene Leakes, Dorinda Medley, and two more just really, like, I would want it to be one of those tables where everybody on that panel is so just kind of like, I don't know. I don't get that. Like the girl from Summer House, I don't even recognize her. So I don't really like care to see her on there. Giselle, I get enough of her on Potomac. I love Portia. I think that she's great. And she does this for a living, obviously. But then I can't believe you're a diehard Kate fan. Wow. Pops is going to be so upset about this.
I'm sorry. I love dry, sarcastic, witty, deadpan. She's deadpan.
She's deadpan.
deadpan. She just needs more of a solo show. I don't think she's in a group. Can we recircle and talk about how Sandy was unable to acknowledge or back down on anything during the reunion? Not a thing. She's perfect.
Yeah, Captain Sandy definitely, but I think she just feels like that those are the shoes that she has to fill, and she has to show as a captain there wasn't a moment during the season where she couldn't be trusted in that position. So I feel like when she makes the decision, she stands in her conviction of like, yeah, I made that decision. I wasn't wrong. This is what it is. And I wonder if she's like that in her relationship, just like a little kind of stubborn in that way where she's not ever wrong. And that's not a bad thing, but I'm sure it carries over.
It has to. And that for me, someone who can't acknowledge, you know what, maybe I could, she doesn't have to say I'm wrong, but she could have said, maybe I could have handled it another way. Like when they were talking about radioing about the bed situation or the cabin situation, she wasn't backing down. I was like, can you just admit it was really awful that you did it over the radio? Just admit, yeah, you know what, I should have pulled Hannah aside.
And Hannah was actually right when she said, you asked me to assign the rooms, but then Captain Sandy flipped when she was like, well, actually it's the first mate or whatever. But in this case, it would be Malia because she's the bosun. And it's like, no, now you're just completely weaving yourself into this little coil because you're trying to make us understand why you feel like you weren't wrong. And at that point, if you assign somebody a job, especially on a vessel where they take their duties and their responsibilities and their stripes, everything very seriously, it's like, then that is Hannah's job. And if it's not Hannah's job anymore, then like Hannah said, maybe out of respect, come over here and just say, hey, listen, I'm going to reassign those duties to the bosun and take that off your workload.
Right. Same thing when they asked her about Kiko. She couldn't say, you're right. I should have waited until after the charter. I just have a problem with people who don't have accountability. Sorry, Sandy. Adam's not saying anything bad. That's me.
I tried to get Captain Sandy on for an interview, but she said, I'm willing to do an interview with you, but I've been inundated with requests. So there was a dollar sign behind it. And usually when I do these interviews, we don't pay for them. So I was just like, sorry, Captain Sandy, maybe one day.
Maybe one day. That doesn't
But I'm going to bring up with us Robin and Ablavi and see what they have to say. Hi, Robin. Hi, Ablavi.
Oh, I wanted to talk about. I don't watch Below Deck. I haven't watched.
No, oh yeah. Okay, so then Ablavi, Robin, you go first and get it off your chest, and then we'll let Ablavi switch the topic.
Okay. Hannah was wrong. Period. She self-sabotaged herself. Period. End of story. Move on.
Right. She should have reported it in, and there is still maritime laws. So just like how Monique is wrong because
maybe some captains are lax. Maybe she's not one of those captains. Considering her past, I can appreciate that she would not be one of those captains. Right. So you got to know your captain. I mean, when I was in the Coast Guard, half of them were dealing coke.
No way.
But yeah, it's the 70s though. So,
but I just feel like though too, Captain Sandy didn't deal with it the right way because I just think the whole thing and putting it out on blast and knowing that she could have had a conversation with Hannah off to the side. And again, just like she didn't give the respect and she radioed over, hey, just to let everybody know the chef and the bosun are going to be staying in the same room. It's like, it seems Captain Sandy and Hannah have had this relationship that's kind of had a buildup over time, and now it's gotten to the point where it had to come to an end.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see each other sitting on the bed brushing each other's hair anytime soon. But honestly, Captain Sandy overreacted. Yes. In fact, with the drug thing, I think she kind of panicked because we are on camera. This could destroy me. Okay. Right. So for that alone is why, if I were captain, why I'd do it, to be very honest with you. So, yeah, it is what it is. But what was the other thing that you were talking about? Because I almost tripped on myself.
I was talking about Hannah. Or are you talking about before that? Because we're talking about Tory Spelling, Kelly Dodd, and Bronwyn.
No, still Below Deck. No, it still had to do with Below Deck. And I dropped my train of thought. I'm sorry.
I can't remember.
Oh. I'm sorry, my dog started barking at my new collar blade.
It had something to do with Hannah. Oh, well. Moot point. Okay.
Captain Lee's coming back November 2nd. Will you be there, Robin?
Yeah, absolutely. He's such a sweetheart.
I'm just not excited. I just want to say really quick, this is the only time where I think I'm going to miss Kate because I know Captain Lee and Kate together. So it's going to be so weird to see this new Chief Stew. And I think it's going to be really hard for the new Chief Stew to integrate herself with Captain Lee when he's so comfortable with the same person for so long.
And he's so rough around the edges, gruff. I mean, he can sport a tuxedo. He can go in any direction. It works for him.
Do you think they've ever? No.
No, I think it's more father-daughter.
Oh, completely father-daughter.
Completely father-daughter. Okay, just wondering.
Yeah, he's my age for crying out loud.
Hey, listen, when I first moved to LA, I saw a lot of father-daughter, and it turned out it wasn't father-daughter.
Yeah, okay? Those fathers are a little wealthier than the captain.
Oh, okay. And then Ablavi, welcome back. Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. I wanted to talk about because I finally binge Real Housewife of Potomac. That was punishment. It was so bad.
Did you mean this season?
Yeah, I'm really at the point where throw out all the housewives.
Wow. You're just ready to get rid of them all?
Yeah, because I was watching OC because in the middle I was doing something, so I wasn't sitting down there. What is
right?
Is this the cul-de-sac in Jersey? What is these houses? I don't want to see that.
Oh my gosh, Ablavi, you're going in. You have feelings.
And then Kelly, my problem with Kelly is Kelly's problematic in a lot of different ways, and I wonder if the new girl is some type of Spanish because her last name is Vargas, and that wasn't her ex-husband's. So I'm curious if they're going to top on that. I don't know if she's Spanish. I don't know if she's Venezuelan. I don't know if she just spells her name differently. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too, but we do know, I believe she's from Montana, right? And she's a country girl at heart. So she could
still be Mexican.
No, Montana. Right. No, exactly. But she does have that, and I hope this isn't perceived as disrespectful, but she does have that kind of, she does look very I lived in Tennessee. She just kind of looks like a country girl, just like a little white country girl.
She's tacky. You know who she reminds me of? That tacky woman in Dallas with the big closet. You know how it just looks awful and it's just cheap and disgusting. She has the
Ablavi.
She reminds me more of that one with these are $20,000 sunglasses.
Oh yeah. She's always going to be a Bravo meme. That poor woman. She sabotaged herself and put herself in Bravo history. She should just donate those sunglasses to the clubhouse.
No kidding.
Well, no. I watched a little bit of the trailer of Salt Lake City, and I'm kind of interested.
Oh no, I'm so excited.
But not for the reasons everybody else is. I really want to see the woman who slept with her granddad, her step-granddad. I cannot wait to see it. That's the black one. She's married to her step-granddad. You didn't know that?
Adam's face.
No.
Yes.
You didn't know that, Adam?
Yeah. So
no. I've been living in a car for the past week.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't know that. But
very recently.
Yeah.
I have the interviews. I have interviews lined up with some of the housewives. They're obviously Bravo has all of them under lock right now. They're not as bad as TLC with their contracts for the housewives, where you can't divulge information, but they are still every time I do a housewife interview, I have to have NBC on with me. We all sit on together in the interview. There's somebody moderating. If they don't like something, they come in to the interview. They'll pop onto the screen. They'll be like, nope, cut that. And then they'll cut back out. It's super they have control. And
she has a lot of explaining to do because she does a lot of things I don't like. And I can't wait until the fans start tearing her up.
I can't wait to see Jen Shaw. You guys, 288 in the room. Let's try to hit 300. Everyone hit but I can't wait to see Jen Shaw because she comes in and she's like, Assalamu alaikum. And then she says it, and she was talking about converting to Islam. And I think there's a lot of personality here. And Lisa Barlow with the Vita Tequila and being Mormon and introducing the first tequila company. I know a lot of people are excited about the religion aspect. And I think that's what you're saying is that's not why you're excited. You're excited because there's obviously a lot to dissect here if somebody's sleeping with their old step grandfather, right? But I'm excited about that. I didn't know that there was some step incestual stuff going on.
She has a lot of bad stuff with her. That church she's with, how she stole her other relatives' inheritance. She has a lot to explain. And I don't want to be on 8 or 9 episodes and she not talk about it, because she has a very checkered past. And I don't know why they would hire her.
You need to write a letter to Bravo and tell them what you want, because I feel like there's an ear at Bravo and they're waiting for you, Blobby.
I mean, I don't mind so much the other girls. Like, the one girl looks horrible. You know, if you're gonna be in a spa, you should look better. I just can't with these women.
Hey, well, Shan, what do you think? What do you think?
I'm excited to watch your recaps with Jason, the Mormon or the former Mormon. That's what I'm excited for. I'm not even joking. I'm more excited to see that and learn about the culture from someone who's lived it.
Do you know, it's really interesting because when I talk to Jason about this stuff, obviously when you're a gay guy and Mormon, it doesn't really mix. So
right.
I think his history is a little, I don't want to speak for him, but obviously it's just that there's a lot to talk about there. And when he sat down and talked and told me everything that happened for him, I was just like, wow, but it's religion and things are taken very seriously. And there's a book to go by, obviously. So it is what it is. But his past is intense too.
But everybody on the show is committing adultery. How can you sit here and see? This is the problem I have with people with religion. If you want to be religious, fine. If you don't even want to follow the book like it's read, fine. You know, I was raised a Christian. I know everything about it. But what I'm not tolerating, I don't like adultery. And I don't like how everybody just about is an adulteress up there. Like the one girl who's like, oh, we're married. Like, why don't you tell the truth? You cheated on your first husband with your current husband, and that's how you got together. And now you're cheating on him again. I just don't understand what the need to lie is.
I don't know how you know all this stuff.
A Blobby will keep you around. That's why we like when a Blobby calls. But no, it's true. Even Real Housewives of Potomac, it's, you know, like even with Giselle and Jamal, like Jamal is obvious, he's the pastor of a huge church, but then also he has a lot of the public infidelities that have played out. And it's like, this is
that church is
there's a lot of hypocrisy and contradictions, but
no, but that church is the Eddie Long church. And I won't go into Eddie Long, but that church he's at, you know, there's so much. I mean, he's having children like people change their underwear. It's ridiculous with him.
Wow. Like that many?
Like that. He has like 8 or 9 kids. Because he got kicked out of his church in Baltimore because he was sitting there spending all the tithe and offering. So then he went down there in Atlanta and he was scamming with coronavirus and they popped him with that. And he was allegedly dating Phaedra Parks. And Giselle got back with him because, you know, Giselle is an old garden tool that can't find another man. She can't pay for a man like Kenya does.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So you're saying that he's walking around like the mom duck with like the 10 little kids just like following him across.
Yes, he had children on her when they were married. That's why they got a divorce. Yeah.
Blobby, this is too heavy for my empty place. No, I'm just kidding, but this guy better stop barking.
I'm interested in New York just because I hope they get rid of Contessa, Ramona. I hope, but I know they're not.
They're not going to get rid of Ramona. Unless she accidentally, this is the only way Ramona's going to go somewhere. One, she's eventually going to get phased out like in the next few years for just aging out. Or she's going to have a slip up where somebody digs something up of something that was super insensitive of her at one time. And she's going to be held accountable because she is super just reckless with her mouth and what she says. And she's, thank you so much. I appreciate you. 6645 new. Okay. Yeah, you know.
Do you think Kenya's going to bring her Rent-A-Man this next season? Mark Daly? Because come close. I went to his restaurant a few weeks ago. Not doing so good. So I'm wondering if her Rent-A-Man's going to be back down there. because it's not doing well up here in New York, and the food is very pricey for very average, very mediocrity. I wonder if her other husband's going to be back down there acting up, carrying on. Oh my
God. Well, you need to start digging in on Karen's rent a life. Gosh, since you're all over it, do some digging for me.
There's a really good comment that I would love if you could give me any feedback. Carrie Dennis wrote, the real Andy of Beverly Hills put out a video about Heather Gay of Salt Lake is a trans woman.
Which one is that?
The one of the big
I feel like I don't think that she's a trans woman. I think that she's just a woman who has a strong jawline, and he might just be saying that because I feel like if she was a trans woman, that would be a huge and the only reason, and she could be a trans woman, but the only reason I say that is if she were in fact a trans woman, it would be our first trans housewife, and Bravo would I feel like
that, right?
It would be huge. Yeah. So I think that's just somebody
being the whole season.
Yeah, that's somebody just being really awful. I think if they're just making fun of her because they think that she has a masculine jawline, then that person's just being a fool.
Okay, yeah. Sorry to have brought that up, but it was really distracting me because I was like, really? That's so exciting.
No, yeah, I would be excited too if we had our first trans housewife. I just feel like we would have more hype about it, you know?
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. But guys, 300 in the room. Everyone please hit like. I appreciate you guys. And Jason actually just pulled up. I haven't seen Jason in a week, and he finally just arrived. So we drove separately, and now he's sitting down in the car because I have to go let him in the place. So hi, Jason. He's watching this right now. He's probably like getting out of the car. And Ablavi, Robin, Shan, I appreciate you guys for jumping on with me. Shan, I'll be watching you too on reality TV Chit Chat. And guys, thank you for sticking with me through this move. I appreciate it. It's been a headache, but you guys are the best.
Take care, everyone. Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right. And guys, also, just remember, I have Popping Off with Pops coming up this week. Also, I'm doing TLC Takeover on all Master of Blackjack channels. We have other things coming up, maybe some breakfast tea, some Orange County. I mean, we'll be around. So just follow the community. Hit like if you haven't already. And yeah, I love you guys, except for you, Jolene. Bye, guys. Not you, Jolene. Bye, guys.